Shalom, Kol Halal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us His truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and its sincerity. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the daily third will update. All right, World War III. All right, we're going to start right here. Revelation 9 and 12. This is the channel where we filter the headlines through the scriptures to let you know that the Bible is a book that has everything that is about to happen or anything that did happen. It's all in the scriptures. All right, it's all in the Bible. All right, so this is Revelation 9 and 12. One woe, woe meaning destruction, and in this case it's talking about world war. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Now, if you go back up here, this describes World War I. Okay, then you get here, it says, one woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. All right, now we go to 11, and now we're past the Second World War. And you get here, 11, Revelation 11:14. The second woe was past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. Here we are today. All right. And here we are. This is Joel 3. All right, and here's what's going on today. Here's what's going on around in the middle, what they call the Middle East today. Joel 3 and 2. I will also gather all nations. This is God talking. I will gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which this word, right, Jehos, right, like Jehovah, if you will, and Shaphat, right? Shaphat means judgment. Jehoshaphat is talking about Yahweh. Yahweh Shaphat, meaning God's judgment. Right? And will plead with them there for my people. Who are his people? Israel. For my people and for my heritage, meaning the same thing. My people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Now, what's going on down in the land of Israel is germane, is a focal point, if you will, of what is going on. All right. All right. So let's go to. Let's look at this real quick. This is Middle East Eye, May 2nd. Israeli settlers attempt to justify forcible takeover of a Palestinian home. Sparks online anger. Let's just watch this real quick.
Jacob, you know this is not your house.
Yes, but if I go, you don't go back. So what's the problem? What are you yelling at me? I didn't do this. I didn't do this.
But
It's easy to yell at me, but I didn't do this.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
Good enough. Look at this. You can't argue with the logic of the Israeli settler. I'm stealing your home because if I don't, let someone else. Here's what's going on in the world. Okay? Here's why we're at war. Okay? Here's why we're at war. Okay, so now with that, what we'll do is we'll check the Deep Journalist channel because they got some good stuff over here. See what they said since yesterday. Okay, and yesterday we showed the asymmetric war where all of these bombs are going off in Russia. A big explosion, violent explosion in Russia. U.S. is burning like hell. Massive explosions in the United States. Okay. Right here, heavy response from China to U.S. Warplanes, da 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 da. Okay. So this is Deep Journalist's sister channel, Deep Journal. See what they have that's new. Okay. What they have that's old is, where is it? Israel, right here. Israel confirms sabotage to Iran. Look at the explosions going off in Iran. And Israel confirms sabotage. They're taking responsibility for it. So yesterday, if you go back and watch yesterday's video, you'll see the asymmetric war jumping off in earnest, along with the cyber attacks and the hacks. All right, this is all how World War III is going to be fought. All right, shutting down different parts of the infrastructure until it's time to start live firing missiles and things of that sort. So it's going on now. When it says, when this says, the third woe cometh quickly, well, it's already here, just under the guise of asymmetric warfare. All right, not people shooting small arms fire at each other. That phase of the war hasn't begun yet, but it will, because the Most High is gathering the troops down into the valley of Yehoshaphat. All right, so this is 2 days ago. This is today. Putin fears U.S. attack before Biden meeting. Well, the Biden meeting is going on right now. 2 minutes ago. Let's watch this.
Russia's great military preparation drew attention. It was seen that the USA also had some military preparations. So what were the important details in the Biden-Putin meeting? What is known about the content of the interview? What will the leaders do after the meeting is over? Why are recent cyber attacks important to this conversation? Let's start to examine the details together.
The reason why is because asymmetric warfare has long been going on. All right? It's already jumping on.
Electronic warfare stations in Crimea will be switched on ahead of the meeting between Biden and Putin, according to state-owned news agency RIA Novosti. Citing a source in the security forces, the agency reported on Wednesday that the stations along the border with Ukraine will be placed in active mode to prevent what it described as possible Ukrainian provocations into Russian airspace.
This is World War III. Okay? It's not going to be like it was, oh, we're going to get all our troops and send them to Normandy and storm the beach. It might get like that later, but right now, see, they didn't have the infrastructure that they have today. They didn't have computers. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have things that were run by computers. So before you send them to the front, you can break down the infrastructure within that country so that they can't send them to the front. You need gas. You need logistics in order to fight a war. You need certain things. You need oil, which in America, over in Illinois, they blew up the little grease factory or whatever, the supplies that they have there. Best believe that they send many of their products straight to the military. So when that place goes up in smoke, then you understand that the World War has already begun. It's real simple.
Crimea had been part of Ukraine but was annexed by Russia in 2014 after the Russian military entered the region. In addition, the Russian Navy is conducting the largest naval exercise since the Cold War ahead of Wednesday's summit between Biden and Putin.
Even Russia positioning themselves. See, all of this used to be part of what they call the USSR. Okay? And then when that fell, then America sneaks in and becomes allies with the Ukraine to have a better jumping off point to get at Russia right here. Okay? Then they take Crimea, and then Russia comes in, takes Crimea back. Okay? So all of this is part of a greater war. All right? Asymmetric war. It's not going to be the way that it was in World War II. Now, what it is going to end with those nukes, mutually assured destruction, the acronym MAD. Okay, everybody's going to use their nukes at the last, all right?
Part of Ukraine but was annexed by Russia in 2014 after the Russian military entered the region. In addition, the Russian Navy is conducting the largest naval exercise since the Cold War ahead of Wednesday's summit between Biden and Putin. The exercise involves surface ships, anti-submarine aircraft and long-range bombers and is taking place in the Pacific 300 to 500 miles west of Hawaii. 3 F-22 stealth fighters were scrambled from Hawaii's joint base Pearl Harbor-Hickam on Sunday, but they did not intercept any Russian aircraft. A U.S. carrier strike group is conducting a planned strike group certification exercise around 200 miles east of Hawaii. Before the expected meeting, it cannot be said that there was a good energy between the two leaders.
Okay, because there's not. Biden was just Biden was just correctly calling Putin he's a murderer. They were pointing at each other. What was this? 2 months ago, they were pointing at each other in the media. So, oh, well, he's a murderer. Well, he's a murderer. How dare you call me a murderer, you murderer? All right. So now, this is a dog and pony show. What they're doing, exercise. Exercise is my ass. They're positioning themselves for this war.
Both leaders have acknowledged that U.S.-Russia relations are at a historic low point. Biden has previously agreed that Putin is a killer, but the Russian president dismissed the comments as Hollywood macho. Speaking at a news conference on Sunday, Biden said, "This is not a contest about who can do better in front of a press conference or try to embarrass each other. It's about making myself very clear what the conditions are to get a better relationship or with Russia. We're not looking for conflict. We are looking to resolve those actions which we think are inconsistent with international norms, number one. Number two, where we can work together," Biden said. Cyber warfare is set to be one of the top talking points in today's meeting. On Sunday, Russian President Vladimir Putin admitted that he is concerned that the United States could attack his country. In an interview with NBC News, Putin said that, "What people can be afraid of in America, the very same thing can be a danger to us. The U.S. is a high-tech country. NATO has declared cyberspace an area of combat. That means..."
What? What was that? That's the asymmetric war. He just mentioned it. Don't let it get by you.
Declared cyberspace.
NATO has declared cyberspace battleground.
U.S. is a high-tech country. NATO has declared cyberspace an area of combat. That means they are planning something. They are preparing something, so obviously this cannot but worry us. So what happened after the leaders arrived in Geneva? What is known about the ongoing conversation? Russian President Vladimir Putin has arrived at Villa Lagrange, the location of his Wednesday summit meeting with President Joe Biden. He was greeted by Swiss President Guy Parmelin. Putin's plane touched down in Geneva at 12:27 p.m. local time, 6:27 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and he then traveled to the venue. The Russian president arrived first, which should end any concerns the White House may have had about Putin arriving late, a tactic he's used in the past. President Joe Biden has arrived at Villa Lagrange in Geneva, Switzerland ahead of his summit meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. He was greeted by Swiss President Guy Parmelin. Biden shook Parmelin's hand and paused for photos at the door of the villa, but he didn't respond to questions shouted by reporters on the scene. The president was running about 10 minutes behind schedule. President Biden will give a press conference after his meeting with Putin at a site overlooking Switzerland's Lake Geneva. The venue has already been set up with a podium and U.S. flags. President Joe Biden and Russian President Vladimir Putin have shaken hands ahead of today's summit meeting. The two leaders appeared before reporters outside the meeting site, Villa Lagrange, in Geneva, Switzerland. Swiss President Guy Parmelin wished both men fruitful dialogue, and they shook hands before entering the venue.
Okay, so this is a dog and pony show. What does the scripture say? All right. Let's go to 38 here. All right. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog and the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Okay, this is talking about World War III here. So the USSR is going to get back together. All of those lands that were split, they're all going to join back together. Who else? Iran, Africa, Ethiopia, and Libya with them. All of them with shield and helmet. Okay? All of this is going to Turkey. All right? Togarmah of the north quarters and all his bands with many people. Okay, so this goes on to describe World War III. And we're watching it go down right now. All right, and nobody can stop this thing. So we're not going to get into the detailed aspect. We're just because we'll be saying the same thing over and over if we jump the gun. But this is what we're watching here. This alliance here is not going to go down. We already know this guy's going to win. He's going to win this war, all right? World War III. But then this guy is going to lose to the angels. He's going to lose this war. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, Satan. This is Revelation 12 and 7. This is the final war. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon fought and his angels and prevailed not. Okay? So this is the war with whoever wins World War III, which is Putin and his allies, right? They're going to fight against the angels. Actually, all of the armies of the nations are going to fight against Michael and his angels, and they're going to get their ass whooped. Okay? But for the record, Putin is going to win. Look at this thing. There we go. Putin is going to win World War III. He's going to take Babylon the Great down. All right, so stay tuned for more. I hope that the elect were edified, and with that, we're going to say shalom.